Yes, Fresh Mark says with another fresh review. Today I'll be checking out Oud Lemon Mint by Mancera, a very hyped up fragrance by the fragrance community. We're talking about a lemon, musk, coriander, black pepper, a little bit of oud in there to make it slightly medicinal. It's aromatic, it's lemon musk fresh, and it has some vanilla in the base with a little bit of leather to keep it masculine. What do I think about this fragrance? Well, I sprayed this on my hand earlier, about 15 minutes earlier, and the opening is a quite zesty, harsh, bitter lemon, very acidic, and it has that medicinal oud note as well. Very medicinal, very similar to Mancera's Gold Prestigium, which has a medicinal oud with honeyed rose. I completely passed on that and I gave that to my mom because that is, I just couldn't work with it. But this is a little bit less medicinal than Mancera's Gold Prestigium, and it opens up with a very sour zesty lemon, and the musk comes in from the oud. But I feel that the oud, although it's medicinal, it comes off as a white wood oud. It has some very clean characteristics when mixed with the sandalwood in the middle of the fragrance. So when the creaminess of the sandalwood and the vanilla kicks in with the leather, it produces something quite masculine, fresh, grounded in a lemon fresh way. I would almost compare it to Dior Sauvage perfume, but it would be a lemon version rather than bergamot. So it has a creamy, musky lemon with a slightly medicinal oud, which finishes in a cool leather note. It's slightly waxy, almost a little bit oily, but it comes off as a cooling blue sort of vanilla fragrance. It has a resemblance to Versace Eros in that lemon note in the beginning. It's quite sour, and it almost has that sparkly characteristic, but it doesn't have that sparkly bergamot that is present in Versace Eros. It took a while for me to get used to this perfume. The first day I wore it, today, the first time, it really shocked me of how strong the leather note came in with the medicinal oud, and it really put me off a little bit, especially the coriander, the aromatic green note of it. That came off as quite, almost as if it was wormwood or absinthe. Very fresh, green, but bitter at the same time. But now, when I'm slightly more used to it after spraying it about 3 times now, the lemon musk becomes more bearable. But I think it's really acrid or sour in the beginning, and I wouldn't really recommend just spraying it and going straight out. I would recommend letting it sit for about 15 minutes before you go out. So I think you can manage that. I mean, that means before you wear your shirt, you can spray it underneath. But I would really recommend it to spray on a jacket rather than spraying directly on the skin, because it is quite harsh, and I had a little bit of a reaction to it. That's why I was quite scared of spraying it directly on the back of my hand. And for the opening notes, just to remember, let's spray it like that, and that's a spray. Oof, I never sprayed it that strongly. before. Now it's oh wow, it's filling the room. I usually sprayed it directly on contact with the skin, but it's filling the room with that zesty lemon, musky, slightly aromatic. I feel that there's almost some ginger in here because it bears some similarity to D&G the One, just in the slight herbal coriander note of it, and it seems to have a little bit of ginger because it has a sour aromatic note, but maybe that's the vetiver, the sourness of the vetiver playing up. Yes, now when I spray it, the lemon comes through with musk, and creamy vanilla and sandalwood come through first. So we get that creamy vanilla, sandalwood, musk, lemon. And it's a little bit herbal, but I'm slightly used to the medicinal note of the oud, so it doesn't come off first as a big punch in my face or anything. But to other people who are not used to it, it may come off as slightly medicinal. But I feel that the lemon projects so much more than the musky oud. The lemon is like way out there. It's just done a home run. It's just flying off into distance, whereas the oud is more of a close. It's definitely not a skin scent. It projects in a light way. By the time it's projected an arm's width, it would be more of a whitewood musky oud, but close up about over here it would be quite rich and medicinal. I feel the richness of this fragrance comes from the sweetness of the almond note that really brings this fragrance into another direction. There's lemon, slightly bitter, acrid oud, medicinal oud, and then you get the creaminess of sandalwood and vanilla, and that really holds on to the sweetness of creamy almond. And that's what I find so enjoyable about this. It has that lemon tea note in the beginning, which is very zesty and fresh. And then it turns into a more creamy lemon scent, which is not so offensive in the medicinal note of it. I believe it's probably more offensive in the mid of the fragrance, well, in the first 20 minutes, the oud can come off as quite punchy and medicinal. But after about 20 minutes and half an hour, maybe, you'll get a better mix of the fragrance. And the lemon comes in with the musk and creamy sandalwood and vanilla. So it goes from acrid and sour to creamy. It just sort of levels off. Still quite niche, still not really a mass-pleasing scent with the oud. It has some character to it in that way, but I believe it's not enough to throw someone off, not enough to throw the more seasoned connoisseur of perfume, Western connoisseur, let's say. They would be slightly more used to it and more accepting to it. But maybe if you went somewhere that was, if you wore it very casually in in another place that wasn't really used to high quality oud, they would be quite put off with it, and they wouldn't really understand the sour and medicinal nature of it mixed with the lemon note. It would be quite, it may come off as like cough syrup to them, because that will be the closest thing that would be that medicinal. So you kind of have to be attuned to it. I don't want to feel like a fragrance snob, but after a few wears, you do actually get used to it, your nose, and it becomes less medicinal. But I still feel that I bought 2 fragrances. I'm gonna just give you a little spoiler alert. I bought this fragrance, Oud Lemon and Mint, and I also bought Oud Blue Notes. I actually prefer and think it's more wearable to wear Oud Blue Notes, because that's fruity, and that goes from fruity to orris root powder, and then creamy vanilla and a little bit of amber in the base. So it goes from fruity to powdery to sweet vanilla and amber. So that is more creamy and fruity, and this is more powdery, fruity, and sweet in the base, and this is more musky, and it feels like a Oriental European classic mix. It has that royal musky lemon, and it has that richness of oud, almost as if an Edwardian prince was wearing his lemon and musk perfume, and he took out the lavender, and he decided to use some white wood oud. So that would really be the culmination of this fragrance, with a little bit of spices from the Orient, and I'd say coriander would definitely be something that you could pick up on the way in food ingredients on the way to India, so and through the Middle East in tea drinks. So it has that Arab lemon tea with creamy almond to give it a duality and a freshness that is reminiscent of Middle Eastern summer. But I wouldn't really recommend it for the summer. I would say it's good to wear it for fall, and wear it in the same place that you would wear Dior Sauvage, which is fall and maybe even winter, to get more of the creamy sweetness out. And in the winter, it will be a light zest of lemon and more of a creamy, warming almond note with that rich oud in the winter. So I'd say fall and winter for oud, lemon and mint. And the next fragrance is actually more of a summer fragrance, Oud Blue Notes, but I'll be doing that later. So stay tuned, people, if you want more reviews like this. This is my first impression of Oud, lemon and mint. Sorry it took a little bit longer, but this is the first day I tried it, and I want to get all of my experiences into one little snippet, so you guys don't waste money and go for the most hype fragrances. I myself, if I had a choice, if I realized it would burn this much doing it at the back of the hand, I would be a bit more careful and just spray it over here as a precaution, because I guess you've got a bit more fat or whatever to sort of absorb it, and it just doesn't burn really. If you've got dry skin, so avoid dry skin and do it on more moisturized skin, let's say. And spray a little bit, don't overspray with this. Oh wow, I just sprayed it. Smell it. I got that peppery coriander vibe. It is fresh, lemony, a little bit rich and creamy, but I wouldn't really recommend it over other Manceras. I would recommend Jardin exclusive. You could still wear that in winter and summer, but it's something for the timeline for me, as if the European fragrances had lemon, musk, a little bit of lavender, and then Oud came onto the scene in 2008, and then we had this French European brand, and it's almost the culmination of history and how perfume has changed over the years. And it's two scents that gave a sense of richness: the lemon and musk, which was the royal aristocracy. They used to wear that kind of, the French and the English, with a bit of lavender, and then they mixed geranium, and this has a lemon and oud musk. So it's a 2020 or 21st century special, really. It's actually, I think it was in 2015, so that's why I corrected myself, but it's a 21st century special in that it's an evolution on the Royal Lemon Musk that gives a new age sense of richness, a sense of quality with the creamy sandalwood and slight comforting vanilla to make it more wearable for all year round. So definitely check out Oud Lemon Mint if you want something that gives an aura of richness. It has some bright zesty freshness in the top note and some interesting creamy almond note if you want something a little bit different from the regular blue scents that are out on the market. So definitely sample before you buy. I blind bought this whole bottle and I kind of regret it because I'm not really going to reach for it as much. I would give the scent about a 7 out of 10. A lot of people give 8s, 9s, 10s, but I would give it a 7 out of 10, maybe even a 6 because it's not liked by everyone. It's not something that could be liked by everyone, but I give it a 7 because it's unique with the coriander, lemon and oud note. How I get 2 tones of it. I get the creamy vanilla and I also get that lemon aromatic green note, and then sometimes I get just the richness of the oud in the middle that cuts through the middle, and then I get either the creamy vanilla or the aromatic notes. So it has almost 3 tones to it, so it's very complex. So I give it like a 6.5 out of 10 for scent. Longevity and sillage through the roof, no problem. And definitely in terms of mass appeal, I would give it a 6 or a 5. In terms of niche appeal, if you're looking for something different, it would be a 7 out of 10. So definitely check out Mancera, Oud, Lemon and Mint. But sample before you buy. Take care and stay fresh.